Hi, everybody. Our lesson today is how do you write the equation of parallel lines? So if you recall, parallel lines are lines that never intersect. And so I have a picture here. And in Monday's lesson, we looked at the slopes and saying, if I count rise over run from these 2 points, I get that the slope of, I think they call it the red line, is going to be 1/2. And the slope of the blue line is also 1/2. So that means when you have parallel lines, the slopes have to be the same. So in this slide, the question is, are the two equations slopes have parallel lines? And we simply look at the number that matters, which is this one. And we can see that since they are both -1/3, that their slope is the same, and therefore they are parallel. We need this information to be able to continue on with what we're learning today. So take a look at what we need to do today. I'm going to give you a point, and I'm going to give you an equation, and I want the lines to be parallel to each other. So if I were drawing a picture, it's going to be a sketch. If I were drawing the picture of this equation right here, y equals 3x minus 4, it would be down here at 4, the y-intercept, and count a slope of up 3, right 5. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I want a line that is parallel to this one, but goes through 0.51. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, we know in parallel lines, they have to have the same slope. So I get the slope from the equation I have, which in this case is going to be 3/5. I have a point that it goes through, and so my goal is to find B. So we've done problems like this before, where I gave you the slope and I gave you a point, and your job was to calculate B. And after you calculate B, you can then find the equation. So instead of Y, you're going to put a 1. Instead of M, you're going to put 3/5. Instead of X, you're going to put 5 plus B. So if you remember, the first thing we did was substitute. Okay, whenever you have to find B, you're calculating. This is not our y-intercept, this is our y-coordinate. I think some of you are getting that mixed up. So solving gives us 1 equals 3/5 times 5 is 3. So what did I do here? I multiplied m times x. Then to solve it, I have to add the opposite or subtract to get -2 equals b. And then, since it says write an equation for the line, I'm not finished. I then take my information from my slope and my intercept and plug it back into the equation. Where 3/5 goes here, and your y-intercept goes here. And if I were to continue graphing it and plot my y-intercept and count my slope of 3/5, 1, 2, 3, right 5, I now have a parallel line to the first one, but it goes through that particular point. Okay, for this next problem, we're going to do something similar. So I need you to look at the equation that's given and tell me what the slope is. So what is your slope? Yes, the slope is 3, the number in front of x. Okay, so I have a point of 2, -6, And my goal is to find b by substituting into my slope-intercept equation and solving for b so I can finish writing my slope-intercept. So instead of y, what number do you need to substitute? -6. Instead of m, what number needs to be substituted? 3. Instead of x, you're going to substitute 2 and continue solving. Next is to multiply. Multiply 3 times 2. Next is to solve for b. So what are you going to do to both sides? Subtract 6. So therefore, -6 minus 6 is -12. And that equals my b. But don't forget, you're not finished until you write your equation, substituting your m and b back in. So doing that, what are you going to get? Y equals 3x plus -12. If you wrote y equals 3x minus 12, remember that means the same thing. Okay, looks good. The next problem, I'm going to have you do it on your own. And so I need you to pause the video and watch or do this on your own and then come back and check your work. So slope is 1/2. Your point is -4, 3. You need to substitute it to calculate and find b. And so therefore, y is 3. Your m is 1/2. Your x is -4. Next thing you need to do is multiply. 1/2 times -4 is -2. Solve it by adding 2 to both sides so that these cancel, and you're left with b equals 5. And now that you know that, it's time to write your equation in slope-intercept form. M goes here, and b goes here to give you y equals 1/2 x plus 5. Now it's your turn to show me that you know what you're doing by completing the assignment for today found in Canvas.